Lichens are what I like to call the first responders, not in the sense they go and rescue, but in the sense that they respond first, or among the first of all organisms, to a changing environment, and that certainly includes climate change. As the climate within a forest or a mountaintop or in an open grassland changes, so many of the lichens that live in these places die very soon, very quickly. They're highly sensitive. In times of global climate change, we need to keep our finger on the pulse to understand what has happened in the past, how it's changing now, and to try to predict what's to come. And lichens are very much part of that effort. My name is Trevor Goward, and I'm co-curator of lichens at UBC. I've been in this honorary position for the last 30-some years, and hope to continue for at least as long. Who is Willa Noble, and what's the story of her collection? When I first began studying lichens in the late 1970s, I met a young woman named Willa Noble, who at that time was doing her PhD at UBC under the supervision of a prof, a dear friend of mine, Will Schofield, who did much to keep the herbarium going in its early days. Willa was trying to do something that was well nigh impossible in those times. She was trying, especially here in Western Canada, very few people had come to study the lichens that were here, and yet what she was trying to do was to give a full account of the lichens of a small region of British Columbia, a very lichenologically rich region, basically the Gulf Islands and southeast Vancouver Island. She succeeded in doing this in ways that people even today still are in awe of. She discovered many new species to science in her efforts, and she cataloged, I think it was more than 400 species of lichens, keys for them, total range distributions, and basically, in a sense, put British Columbia on the lichnological map. It was a tremendous effort. I believe it took her about 10 years to complete, far longer than your normal PhD. And then, having completed it, and for reasons I can certainly understand, she decided that she'd had enough of the tremendous strain of academic pursuit, and decided to take her talents elsewhere. It was a great sadness to lose her within the field, her expertise and talent, but nonetheless, she left a legacy, which anybody who wishes to can come and now leaf through at the UBC Herbarium. So my role at the museum, well, I see this as a symbiotic relationship. I work on the lichens of British Columbia, and I describe new species as I become aware of them. I've done more than 3 dozen species so far new to science, and probably that many more to go before I'm finished. By doing this, I give UBC some sort of visibility of the international map of the discipline, lichenology. But at the same time, I contribute as much as I can to the running of the herbarium at UBC, mostly by fielding questions that the technicians and staff may have, but also by preparing specimens and gathering material and contributing to the holdings of the UBC Herbarium. So, do I have a favorite lichen? Do I have a favorite lichen? Over the years, I've studied and got to know at least 1,000, shall we say, lichens quite well. But I think my very favorite lichen of all time, and I'm sure the Raven agrees with this, is the lichen I'm holding in my hand. This is what's called technically Umbraria fremontii, otherwise known as the edible horsehair lichen. These hair lichens, they basically define the northern, the boreal forest. They're what make these forests the shag forests, or shag scoop, as they say in Norway, which also has many of these hair lichens. This particular hair lichen, however, the edible horsehair lichen, gets its name from its use by first indigenous peoples. The interior Salish, including our local groups, the Kanem peoples and the Simpt people, used to collect these lichens in season and make of them a kind of a vegetarian pemmican. It's also one of the 2 or 3 most important lichens, by the way, for the mountain caribou, which the indigenous people, of course, used to hunt when the caribou were abundant. The caribou are disappearing, and part of the reason they are and will disappear is because this lichen in the high country requires the forests to accumulate to abundance, but the old forests are mostly gone now, and so the caribou will, of course, disappear as well. Knowing these kinds of connections is essential. This sort of thing was known to the indigenous people of this province. It's hardly even suspected yet by most people outside academia.